Do you think you have a sumping problem? Let me show you one easy way to check. What's up, everybody? In recent videos, we've covered a lot of ground related to crankcase pressure, crankcase venting, external breather mods, and sumping. All of these things are closely related, and in today's video, I want to give you a quick and easy check that you can do to assess whether or not your bike is sumping. If you want to check out my last video, you can see the status of my street bob and exactly what changes I've made related to crankcase venting. It's been quite a journey. As a reminder, some of the signs that point to a sumping problem are drastic changes in fuel economy, excessive engine heat, power loss, fluctuating oil levels, and excessive crankcase pressure. Although I'm not experiencing any of the signs of sumping on my bike, I still wanted to do this check, especially because of the fact that I have the pre-2020 oil pump on my street bob. Those early generation pumps on the Milwaukee Eight motors are known to have issues with scavenging and known to be big contributors to sumping problems. According to Harley's technical tip bulletin number 466 and the technical profile that they released, this new oil pump will be on all 2019 bikes produced after May 22nd of 2019 and all 2020 and newer bikes. And this new pump has 8 lobes instead of 10 lobes, and it gives about a 44% increase in scavenging capacity over the prior pump. And this quick and easy check involves pulling the crank sensor. That sounds daunting, but it's actually quite simple. Let me pause here and say thanks so much for checking out this video. My name is 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗧𝗦, and I'm a motorcycle enthusiast just like you. And here on this channel, I tackle projects of all sizes related to the bikes I ride, and I give you as much information as I can about those projects. So please be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and enable all notifications so you'll be alerted whenever I post new videos. Let's get back to the crank sensor. So why is this such a good indicator for whether or not there's a sumping problem? Well, the Milwaukee Eight motor is a dry sump system. So if oil remains in the sump and that oil level rises, once it gets to a certain point, it begins to contact the rotating assembly. And when that happens, you get oil flinging around inside the crankcase. You get excessive oil aeration. You can then start to over-oil the cylinders. You get more blow-by, more crankcase pressure, and ultimately that problem begins to compound. If you're not familiar with the crank sensor on the Milwaukee Eight motors, it's at the front edge of the sump a little to the right. And because of its position, that makes it a great place to check for a sumping problem. When the oil pump is scavenging well, there should be a minimal amount of oil left in the sump, even at highway speeds for extended periods of time. So how do you go about pulling the crank sensor and doing this check? You'll need a few basic things. You'll need a level surface and a way to keep the bike vertical. You'll need something to catch the oil in, preferably with markings so you can judge how much oil comes out of the sump. You'll need a 3/16 Allen wrench, and you'll probably want some gloves because you're gonna have to do this check when the engine is hot. Go out for a ride, get the bike up to operating temperature, and just spend some time cruising on the highway if possible, and try to stay out for 30 minutes or more. You'll want to plan ahead when you do this because once you get back from your ride, the goal is to complete these steps as quickly as you can, preferably within 1 minute. And of course, the bike is going to be scorching hot, so be careful when you do this. Now, I couldn't get this done within a minute, but I got it done as quickly as I could. One of the challenges I had was I was trying to film this as I was doing it, so I really had to do some extra steps to plan ahead. Once I got the bike set up, I backed out the 3/16 inch screw, put my container in place, wiggled out the crank sensor, and I got 1 drop of oil. It was so little oil that it's hard to even see it on the video. I was really surprised by how little oil came out. I fully expected to get several ounces of oil out of the sump. I was so surprised that I actually repeated the entire process a second time, pulled the crank sensor a second time to see how much oil I'd get. And on the second check, I got the exact same result. That's great news for me. I don't have a sumping problem, but let's talk about the guidelines for how much oil you might get out of the sump when you do this check. Keep in mind that these are just guidelines. Different people will give you different numbers, but I think what you will find is that they will all fall within this range, and all of this should be considered in the context of your bike and the bigger picture, and whether or not you have any other sumping symptoms going on with your bike. You're in the green if you get 4 ounces of oil or less. You're in the yellow if you get 5 or 6 ounces, and you're in the red if you get 7 ounces or more. So as you saw, in my case, the engine is healthy and I don't have a sumping problem. But what do you do if you get a lot of oil out of your sump when you pull that crank sensor? One additional check you could do just to further diagnose this is to do a thorough compression and leak down test on both of the cylinders and see what results you get there. If that also indicates a problem, then that's really 2 solid signs that you have a sumping issue that you really should consider addressing. So to sum it up, if you're in the green, good to go. If you're in the yellow, you might want to consider doing this check periodically and just be sensitive to any of the other symptoms related to sumping to make sure that you don't develop a problem in the future. And if you're in the red, you probably want to get that checked because, as I said, that really can cause damage to the motor and ultimately lead to premature engine failure. Let me remind you to check the video description in this video and in all of my videos because I always put links to pertinent information in each video description, links to other videos that are related to the topic, links to tools or parts needed for the specific project, and other information as well. Have you pulled the crank sensor to check for sumping? Have you done a compression and leak down test? If so, what results did you get? Drop in a comment and let me know. And please share as much information as you can. I really enjoy hearing from you and learning about your bikes. And if you have any requests for future video topics, drop those in the comments as well. Speaking of other video topics, be on the lookout for a couple of videos on Shorty levers that I have made myself. I've really enjoyed working on that project and I'm doing something unique and special with the coating on those levers. I've also got a couple of how-to videos on deck and a whole list of videos right behind those. If you want to check out my other videos on crankcase pressure, crankcase venting, sumping, external breather mods, etc., I put together a playlist for you and you can get to that playlist by using this link or the link in the video description. If you found this video informational or useful, please do hit the thumbs up button and share it with your friends. That really means a lot to me and it tells YouTube that you appreciate the content. And if you're new here, please do consider subscribing, hitting that notification bell, and enabling all notifications so you'll be alerted whenever I post new videos. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy the ride. I'll see you next time.